Yo, what's up, everybody? Tommy here for the day 2 recap of Water Invitational. Today, I got the second foray of games. And the first game we're going to be taking a look at today is, I believe this is, oh my god, I know it, Stroh's E-Daters versus the French Communist Party. And sources say this game was an absolute Astro banger. So I'm expecting quite a lot today. Let's take a look at the all chat. Who wants to play Among Us after this? Amogus. You're going to be late to bot lane. Ring ding ding ding. Okay, very nice. Anyways, so things to look at here. Swain in the top lane, right, making another return. Sejuani left up for Dogbrain in a matchup on a champion he's very, very comfortable. Oral accidentally takes 2 tower shots here. The exhaust is going to have to come out. I'm going to zoom out here because I will get harangued if I do not get that. Slayer on what is now, after the tilt tryouts, his signature zigs, I guess. And then something else to talk about in this game is Jacob versus Hoovy. Hoovy is obviously one of the lowest elo players in the game, and Jacob is one of the highest, generally speaking. And so we see Hoovy in playing a champion more to his native lane in this Ornn, right? Playing Summon Airy, right? He'll likely do that, right, to build a Thornmail for himself to really start to deny a lot of the Thornmail healing, because the Thornmail procs do proc Summon Airy. Stroh playing a champion that he famously hates, if you're unaware and uninformed, in the Kayn. But today he is locking it in for the betterment of the team. He did get a very, very late pick, and it was very, very good. I don't know where it was in the draft necessarily. I believe it was R4, if I remember correctly, as we are about to get into a little bit of action here. Silas is going to abscond, abduct forward, but there's about to be kills somewhere very swiftly. Looks like it might be in this mid lane. A lot of people coming over to get involved. Porta here, Slayer here. Stroh going to make his way up into the top side of the map. The Swain is going to have the first movement into it. The Swirl Seed is not going to be able to make a connection, and Jacob's going to flash forward, and so is the Sejuani. They are going to pick up the first blood here, and they are going to pick up 1 kill in return, but it is going to be 2 in the other direction. In totality, Rekt is going to be pick up some farm or some gold on this Lilia that he really got to accelerate in one of his games earlier in the tournament, and he dropped, I think, like 13 kills in totality. So very, very, very good. Not a great sequence for Stroh's E-Daters. But, 2 flash expended for that play. Ignite used from Dogbrain, so that level 6 kind of kill window that you kind of traditionally expect from Sejuani, if you've never played against her in lane, is not going to be there because she just doesn't have all that extra burst and that ignite to really shut down the Swain healing if she doesn't 100 to 0 her truly, as Oral just punches into the wall. Clearly not something he's necessarily very practiced on, it looks like. But we will see things continue as time goes by. I will start to speed this up for at least the early game section of this, as we are going to see a kill happen quickly here. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to be. It looks like it's in top lane. Dogbrain is just going to be able to set this up. Very nice patience from Rekt to get this. Is going to have to expend his own flash to do it. All right, Sky obviously having used his flash earlier in that skirmish in the topside river. And so this game is already 1,000 gold lead in the favor of the French Communist Party, and you kind of expect it to keep going that way. Slayer purchasing the Cull, which I think is very, very funny. It's just not something you would see on a lot of mages, right? But it is just a good item. Like on its own, it does give you plus 100 gold, especially if you think your laning phase is going to be very, very boring. As Jacob is going to be take a large amount of control in this lane, right? A decent CS lead, right? And just more prepared to scrap as a whole, as Porta and Slayer here, just chilling as the Mountain Dragon is going to go down. Very, very, like, in the game, the pace is really slowed down. Very nice satchel charge to stop anything from really, really occurring in that play by Slayer, right? It's, like, weirdly, like, a champion he's somewhat decent at. He's very bored of it already. Unfortunately for him, that champ's strong. And will be strong until receiving any form of nerds. As we are going to see Jacob get knocked up multiple times there. Really well played. Nice call of the Forge God there by Hoovy. And Stroh's going to be able to really start get a gold lead going here. Right, Stroh has a 2 camp lead. Has 2 kills to Rex 1. As we're going to see maybe a dive top here. As Sky is going to have to flash here. Porter does die underneath the tower, as Hoovy might get caught out in rotation here. The Visions of War is going to somewhat delay the ability for them to kill Hoovy from Sky. Rekt is going to be able to walk in here, take away the jungle. Stroh's recall is going to get stopped. He's going to be able to use Flash, but the Demonic Ascension here is going to give Sky maybe some sort of entry, as this Lily starts to drain tank. Doesn't have very much mana, right? Stroh actually gets his cooldown back, gets the Umbral Trespass, but trespasses too far into the enemy team. Slayer, or Jacob, gets to rotate through. Hoovy gets a couple of turret platings in response to help get him back into this game. It's just item completions already, right? I don't think Stroh minds too much handing over that early shutdown, because it looks like it good to get him Rost. And Rost at this point is going to be so vital to this game, right? It'll really catapult his combat power, right? And especially against 4 champions that are going to be building almost entirely HP, right? Even this AP item, that the Dusk and Dawn that he's building in top lane here from Dogbrain, is going to have HP on it, right, with that Kindle Gem. And Sky just straight up solo kills Dogbrain. And there's a solo kill in the mid lane. Hold on. Hold phone. Nice searing charge there. College the Forge God. Boom. And maybe you've seen the screenshot of Hoovy getting an absolutely filthy reconnect on the R2 for the Call of the Forge God to get a solo kill on Jacob. And this guy is just the 1v1 king, like, unironically. Hoovy is so good in the 1v1. It's, like, very interesting, as Rekt is going to look for a dive here, is going to get slowed and knocked up by the Brittle proc, but is actually going to be able to walk out from underneath the tower just barely. And I mean, we look across the map and you're just like, wow, look how strong 2 members specifically, right? It's this Lilia, this Rex Lilia, and it's KTL Smolder, right? Already with 5 KP, 209, right? And we got already 100 stacks on the Smolder, right? He's kind of on a decent pace right now, right? Not perfect pace, but it really does pick up as the game progresses, right? You're not going to have 10 stacks per minute right away. Trying these poppies for the first time, and they're not too bad if you've never tried them. It's like a diet soda. It's very nice. As we are going to see Oral harass Slayer here. This is protege violence. But it's a 2-level lead on the top lane, right? And it's kind of up to Sky currently to translate his lead into the rest of the map, right? Their team is already down 2 dragons. Let me speed this up. All right, this Sejuani is appearing very squishy. Hoovy is going to get 2-manned here. He does have the cavalry to deny something from really truly happening. This guy gonna back off here. Knows that Rekt is in the area. Can just walk it off. And we're going to go through a little bit of a lull state here. Sky's recall is going to get interrupted by the Swirl Seed. And a little bit of a skirmish here. Let's advance. What's the first Dominator to fall here? Right. Slayer is forcing KTL back. Really low health. Like 2 spells will kill KTL here underneath this tower, so he's going to have to back off. Does he commit the Mega Inferno Bomb? That could be something while KTL's in shop. He's not going to. They are going to get a decent amount of chip damage here on the tower are Stroh's E-Daters. And I'm just waiting for this. They've seeded top river position and are allowing this Lilia to get further and further ahead, right? And might be able to snowball something here with the Rift Herald, waiting for the satchel charge from Slayer. KTL just came back to lane, is already under half HP. Stroh playing with fire, as he so well does. The Demonic Ascension has been stolen away by the Swain from the Silas, right? This ultimate going to become a real problem in the late game for Stroh's E-Daters to really deal with, as the Demonic Ascension will come through. Stroh just on the other side of the Raptor wall. Not sure if he needs to get himself too involved. Is going to get the knock-up here, and we are going to get a solo kill up in the top side. Hoovy is going to be able to Searing Charge away. The Mega Inferno Bomb is just going to hit the outer edge on a couple of champions there, but he's not going to be too worried in the grand scheme of things. Slayer, not a lot of mana here, so we are going to be able to go a little bit forward here. Hoovy really holding his own, has taken a decent amount of priority here, as Jacob is going to fight Sky in his minion wave, is going to be able to use the Kingslayer to heal himself up. Conqueror proc for both of them is just going to fade off. The Visions of War going to deny Jacob access to the minion wave there. Hoovy is going to be able to collect this wave. Very nice hook from Porta. Is going to be able to get the knock-up with the Searing Charge here. Exhaust burnt. Between this Lilia, they're not going to be able to walk this Ornn down. Has the upgraded tier mid lane boots. As Stroh here is going to look at KTL respectfully and then leave. Trying to punish an overstep of sorts. Wrecked, maybe. It's a very interesting time to use them. Very nice cancel there from Hoovy. Is going to get knocked up and dies to the Herald charge damage, but Wrecked does drive it right into the. Oh my lord! Stroh is going to be able to use the Umbral Trespass to access both characters there. 2 Demonic Ascensions going on. 1 Demon's Hand. A Kingslayer again comes in through here. Who's going to be able to get the final bit of damage? And it is Jacob getting that second cast of the ultimate off before Sky can. And Slayer is going to be able to hit it. Oral Flashes absolutely nothing. Would have died regardless. And now Stroh is going to be able to hit the knock-up there with the Kane W and pick up another kill for himself. Silas is going to be denied access to those tower plates, specifically by Hoovy's teleport. Gonna double dash away to give himself some space. A lot of action gonna be packed into this next kind of 4 or 5 minute frame here, and it's very interesting. Lots of fighting kind of happening all over the map, and it's just not a clean game, right? And I think that plays to both teams, right? I think it's stylistically what Stroh's E-Daters want to do, but I think in terms of what champions exist, I think the champion like Silas and Sejuani and Smolder will really thrive from this, as Oral is going to get caught out here. Hand his life over, clearing out vision. Even Masters players do it too, as Hoovy and Dogbrain gonna sit here together having a little bit of fun. Wrecked in the area of the skirmish, so nothing's going to come out of it. Slayer versus KTL in the mid lane is going to get revealed. They did nerf this item, right? It's not 115 yet. It's 75 now, but gives a load of haste. No ignite here. Dogbrain is going to fall very low from the return damage. Has no ignite. If you have the ignite, that's likely a kill. Who are you going to be able to play underneath this tower? His cooldowns are slowly coming up. Is going to use the Bellows Breath. Isn't going to get anything. Doesn't get the knockoff with the Searing Charge either. But the Q4 just doesn't do any damage from Dogbrain. And Hoovy's going to pick up another solo kill here, taking down 2 laners, probably 1,000 LP or more above him. Understandably, that Sejuani is 1-4, but still, I mean, it goes to show that Hoovy's mechanics are right. He might be the oldest player in the tournament. It might be Oog. I'm not exactly sure, but it shows that his hands do in fact work. And I think I praised him very much so for that LeBlanc performance, and chastised him. Well, we'll see later. Sky gonna get the Visions of War, has his ulti stolen away, and the hero's entrance is gonna come down over top, but the Silas is gonna be able to slowly get walked down, even though the Silas did not have a ton of mana there left over. Mom is gonna get called and is going to lock Porter very, very low. Forces him to use his flash. They are going to be able to satchel charge the tower. Slayer with a very, very nice flash away. Stroh's going to be able to knock up the Lilia, but is going to get the shutdown before he actually gets the healing. Doesn't get the cooldown refunded back to him. A very nice ultimate use from Hoovy is just a little bit, just too little damage to actually be able to take down the Smolder. Oral and KTL getting to walk away with a very minute amount of health. And that is very, very sad. That easily could have gone the other way with just a little bit more damage there. But I think Jacob is just really strong in this game. But as you can see, this game goes for another 20 or so minutes. So we got to see how they're able to extend this game out. We're going to speed through this as much as possible, because there is 6 games today. All 6 games did get played. I'm very excited to go over and take a first look at some of our the team we haven't gotten to see yet. I think there's 2 of them technically that we have not seen yet. So we'll get to do that, as we're going to see a lot of cooldowns traded here in the mid lane. And Porta's depth charge is going to come through here cleanly, and they are going to be able to pick up not 1, not 2. It looks like a very nice strike from Hoovy. He's just masterfully playing this champion. KTL gets taken down too. It's turning all on its head. It's actually a gold lead for Stroh's E-Daters here, and I don't think we should be surprised necessarily, right, if we look at the gold. Right, Swain is up 1,500 on Silas. Stroh is up 500, 600 on Lilia. Silas is going to be able to abduct over the wall with the Demonic Ascension currently going. He is going to get worked down ever so slowly. The Sejuani not tanking enough, not doing enough damage either to really allow them to do this, but they do their job here, sacrificing their lives to stop Stroh's E-Daters the ability to do Baron here, which I think was the entire purpose. Oral may be in a little bit of trouble here. Stroh is not going to be able to get into range. Lilia is here to assist, does dodge this World Sea Justice Punch, just goes a little bit wide. TP used to commit, does hit one champion. Lilia is going to get hit here. Stroh is going to be able to get enough damage down and take down the Lilia here. The Lilia, no armor in her build. She's not even working towards her Zanya. She just did what you have to expect is coming, right? The best way to deny Kane his free healing, coming out full HP, is by buying Zanya so he doesn't get that healing when he comes out. The 2 Call the Forge Gods are about to come through, and there it is. KTL's final form of the Smolder is going to come through. Stroh's Kane is going to pick up a kill here. Hoovy has a chance to re-engage, but his team has elected to disengage. Lots of things on the map. A lot of waves being dropped over the last 5 or so minutes of in-game time. But as this game progresses, you look and you see what Dragon Soul it is. And I've talked about it once in the first day's games, but I'm going to talk about it again here, right? Look at the champions on each team that would adore this Chemtech Soul, right? Lilia and Silas both would love this dragon, but you know who would love it just that little bit more? Silas and Swain, or not Silas, Kane and Swain. They cause a significant amount of pain when they do get this, right? They're going to be so hard to take down, right? Swain and the Demonic Ascension is already so difficult to take down, and he's building all this HP, and now he's building towards his resistances. The Sejuani is not being able to really compete in the side lane here with those Bandle Pipes, with the Dusk and Dawn. This Swain is just too much in the side for her right now, and it will come down to the Silas having to match her. And there isn't a tremendous amount of Grievous Wounds being built in this game, despite the Soul in question, right? The only one I can currently see is, in fact, the Executioner's Calling on KTL's Smolder here. Like I said, KTL is 26 minutes into the game, has had it for a little bit now. We saw it proc in that last fight, has 249 stacks, right? So he's well on his way currently to being able to take over this game. Stro getting to look at Rect here. Rect is going to be able to use the blast cone away. Flash used from Porta. A little, I think, overzealous there, right? You already are using the Ornn ulti. If it hits, then maybe you can commit the flash. But I think we are going to be able to see in the bot side of the map. I don't know why I hit you ages ago. There's a little bit of a play maybe here on to Sky, and it's not going to come to fruition as everything is being set up around Sky here. The top lane being completely ignored here in this situation. All 10 members are in this kind of squadron of the map of about 8,000 units. It looks like Stro's E-Daters are going to retreat a little bit. Camps are respawning. Waves are being left incomplete. Just like abundance, I guess, just in the top lane. That top lane, I feel like that wave has been there for bloody ever. An item that I can talk about quickly in this kind of break is Stro's Endless Hunger. Gain gain haste based on your AD, and then when you kill somebody and have touched them in the last 3 seconds, you get 15% Omnivamp for 8 seconds. Gives AD, gives Vamp, gives Tenacity, right? I think this is an amazing item for a lot of champions, a lot of drain tanks. Right, and so I'm very interested to see what champions really get to prosper with this item. Been seeing Ezreal's begin to experiment with the item, which I think is very, very cool. And we are going to see the 5,000 gold lead here right before this dragon fight, right? 25 seconds to go. They're going to be able to pick up this Scuttle Crab, clear all the vision in the area. They'll find out the fairy lights are going to reveal a little bit of the area for each team. Mid priority belongs to the French Communist Party right now. The Swain ultimate is going to get stolen. Rect is going to go for the big play, is not going to actually be able to hit anything, is going to dive forward. Rect's going to go down right away. Heroes landing, going to go right over top of everything. And we're going to get the first execution of the fight. This is going to be the Smolder. He's on top. The Swain is here. Is going to get the second execution of the fight. Swain is just in the back line. Kane is going to be able to slice and dice his way through. We're not playing Renekton, though. And we are going to get a third kill. Triple kill for this Kane. KTL all on his own versus two champions with too much HP right now. And Stro's going to be able to pick up the E-Dater's third Chem Dragon of the game. Who he is just going to bodyguard, make sure KTL doesn't get any funny ideas. This is a crazy good team fight from both teams, right? And I'm just waiting for a little bit of this armor to come in for the Swain to really cause problems in this fight, right? And we can fast forward a little bit here because we're already 22 minutes into this recording. A little bit of farming. A tower is going to go down. I suspect it's going to be this bot lane tier 1. We're going to get a little bit of an overload, or Sky's going to group here for something. Baron priority is being established. Oral is going to take a little bit of a journey ride. Stro is going to use the Unbroken Trespass, right? So that will be on cooldown, and it's almost already off of cooldown. I know it's in 4 times speed, but it's still crazy. The bot tier 1 does go down. The Kinnick completed for that Sejuani as well. Dogbrain kind of had a quiet game here. Can he make some sort of play with the Glacial Prison into this mid to late game to really secure the deal, right? Flash is going to come up with soon for Rect, right? Not being punished for blowing that summoner spell last fight, and the Baron is going to get started here. Swain is on the bottom side of the map here, does have his teleport available, ready to go. Porta is going to be able to hook forward here onto Dogbrain. Slayer is going to land some damage over top. The Baron is just going to go down. Slayer is going to make his way on the other side of the wall, is going to get ignited, but is going to die to the Chain Lash. Hero's Entrance going to come in over top, hit 2 people, but Silas is just too big, right? Or not big enough, right, for this fight. Already down to half HP. The Demonic Ascension procced and is going to deny it. Baron goes the way of oh my god, what are they called? I'm not like actively looking at it, and so this is why I'm struggling. The French Communist Party. So it is a 1-for-1 in the grand scheme of things, right? 80 marksman or mage player in this case. A lot of the damage. There is going to be a little bit of a flank here from the Silas. Silas going to have the Demonic Ascension ready to go. It's going to be all up to Stro here, I think, in this team fight to really get something going. He's going to be able to use the W4. He's going to get absconded or ducted. He's going to go forward, get another shutdown over to KTL. That's 1,000 gold in the pocket of the Smolder. He's going to be able to accelerate him to 5th item, but as the game end here, no, it doesn't. Obviously, you can see the timeline. However, how much can they really capitalize here? The Baron being able to swing this gold lead back tremendously back in a way that this game is going to be way, way closer. It was 5,000 gold lead before this Baron take. The Baron is now absolutely cratered it to a very, very low number. Smolder's going to fly forward here, but the bouncing bomb is going to be able to pick up Lilia on the back end. Keita's going to be able to flash forward, takes 2 tower shots, but he does kill Slayer. The wave clear is gone. It's just down to Ornn right now. Another 3 seconds of portable spawn, but that's not going to be all that help. They're going to go for the end here. Can they do it? They don't have that insane tower tanking. It looks like they're just going to back off. The 3 cannon minions not going to be enough. Oral going to get knocked up. And they're just going to walk away. Deny Stroh's Edators the 4th dragon in this soul. Alright, they're just going to start hitting it. I don't think there's anything that they can do to stop it. Stroh would be, I think, a little silly to try to make this steal attempt, even if he could get close enough. So this game is going to go into a tiny bit of low state, so we're going to catapult it forward in time. The gold is within 2,000 gold at this point in the game. How much does gold even really matter? Oh my lord, there's a team fight here. You would never think it based on the kill feed, but a lot of cooldowns used. Rex Flash, Oral's Flash, Umbral Chest, 3 ultimates used. Call of the Forge God, Umbral Chest Pass. But again, the name of this game is Sky versus this really pesky Sylas, just being a better champion than him in this side lane. Right, and that's the problem with the Swain, is that it enables one of the a champion that would be worse without his ultimate, but Sylas just being able to utilize the Swain ultimate almost better than Swain, because it just as a part of his kit would function better, obviously thematically. So we are going to start to see more Grievous Wounds picked up across the teams, and I'm kind of surprised with the increased income that both supports aren't further along in their build, right? They are Oral's 3 items in, Porta is only 2.5. It may be a little bit of too much control with purchasing, as Dogbrain's going to get a little bit saucy here. Hoovy on his own underneath this tier 2 top tower. Super Mega Inferno Bomb is going to go down, but it is actually not going to kill any of the wave that really matters, right? Those casters do so much more damage to towers. As 5 men strong in this top side for the French Communist Party. Call the Forge God, called by Jacob Sylas, is not going to be able to find any purchase on any of the members of Stroh's Edators. Slayer is running slowly more and more down on mana. And Hoovy is level 18, is going to have given out all his upgrades to his teammates. The Eclipse completed, the Death Cap completed, the Bandled Pipes completed, 2 Zanyas for the mages of the French Communist Party, right? And at this point, it's just going to be team fight execution, right? A lot of members are here. On both teams are 4 or 5 items, right? It's going to come down completely to execution and what does happen. We will have to see. I thought something was going to happen. I am blind. Let's speed this up again. Baron has respawned. Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. Hold on. We got to watch this in full glory. Stroh is going to get kind of isolated here from his team. Stroh doesn't get on the other side of the wall, is going to R inside of Oral, is going to go back to full HP. Hoovy and Stroh on the wrong side of things, but Stroh is going to jump forward here. Knock up is going to send Smolder into his GA. Demonic Ascension has been stolen, but 2 demons fighting side by side. KTL is going to fall in this fight. Slayer does flash over the wall. Stroh is going to Q forward. One more Lilia spell will take him down. Is not going to be able to hit the W on the other side of the fight, but he is going to Q into melee range. The Sejuani giving him just enough HP is going to be able to take him down, and 4 men strong are going to be able to eliminate Jacob, but there's no help from the rest of his team. Dragon is going to be available for the taking. There's not a lot of towers down. I don't think they can end off this push, because KTO was one of the first people to die in that fight. He is up in 30 seconds, and their main tower taker is dead. The only person to fall is going to be the Ziggs, right? The satchels are not going to be available here to do anything. They realize this. They're going to retreat to the safety of a 4th Chemtech Dragon. But the FCP are going to teleport right in as the Baron spawns. The Baron is already down to 10,000 HP. I don't know why it's not showing me what it is. That's why I have it picked up here. 6k, 5k. Super Mega Inferno Bomb is going to go down. Smolder is going to be the person who executes this. Directed camera, bring me back, please. Why do I have to spam you? So, Camtech Soul for Baron. And now, based on the takedown timers, both of these objectives are going to respawn about the same time. Let's take a quick preview of this last fight to come. Smolder and Silas, no, and Sejuani, no flash, but it's very, very important that the Silas can't make a super, super flashy play, and neither can the Smolder get away from danger if things go poorly for him, right? If Porta is able to get into range to use the depth charge, maybe this will allow them success into taking down who I think is the most threatening member initially in a team fight right now. Right, Smolder stacks do not matter really like as much as they used to over the course of time. And is purchased and sold his GA that he had in the last fight, will not have it again for the next fight, is going to work his way towards the Zanyas to give that team 3 Zanyas. And we'll be able to see what happens from here on out. 3,000 gold lead, but how much does that even matter at this point? It's really just one team is Baron right now, and we're kind of waiting, stalling for something to happen, right? Slay on the side here. The Zanyas is going to have to be channeled, and Sky is going to get caught out underneath this tier 2 tower. Is this the end of the game? The Call of Forge God is going to get summoned. Slayer is going to get knocked up by the recast of it. 3-man knockup for Hoovy on the other side of this fight. The Kane is going to go down. All that is left is a Nautilus and an Ornn. They're going to be able to dive this tower, and one mistake ends this game, and that is just how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. You made one mistake in a side lane at the end of the game, and it's your Swain, who's not the most important, like they're not the biggest damage threat, but it's the most threatening thing in the team fight for the Smolder to stop him from advancing forward. And what an amazing game, right? This is the prospective first place team. If you're a certified box score enjoyer, right? You look at this and you're like, wow, this is a great, like, a business as usual. But if you're a real ball knower, you've now watched this, and you're like, wow, what a performance by the team that was projected bottom 2 by most, right? And so, with that being said, we're going to get straight into our next game between our first available watch of the Sunbear squad and the Wizards of the Coast. So we're now here. Another Silas in this game. Another Varus for Mac. Another Rumble for Prey. But we can't say that about a lot of these champions, right? And our number one Swain fanboy of the season, Colin, is going to be the person piloting it in this game, is going to be into the supports role, so we'll be able to see it in our second role of the tournament. Witty Smitty, not the normal AD carry for this team, if I'm not mistaken. Witty Smitty, Shadow Goat. He is oh my god, what is it called? Not LTA, not LCS. LAS Legend. As the level 1 encounter in the bot lane does not go at all in the debutante's way. Here the Sunbear squad is 1-0 currently on the season because of an FF win by Cancun on 3, who we will get to watch for the first time next, as the Never Move is going to get landed down onto Mac. Mac taking a decent chunk of damage here, but both pots have been consumed by the Sunbear squad bot lane. Hawkshot gonna go get sent. The Tangle Barbs are just gonna land, and Varus basically does that completely on his own, and it's just a straight up 2v2 from Mac and Punda, right? Punda playing this Nico to absolute perfection, thus far, right? Being the lane dominant champion that you really expect. Newt and Feldy kind of just farming on each other. Nothing too exciting. Albino piloting the Rise, which is a champion that a lot of people thought was going to get a lot of attention here in this season of Water Invitational, just because of stuff like the Actualizer. It's here picked up for that Seraphs. Indigo and Albino both having a little bit of fun in the mid lane, not doing too much right now. A matchup I am interested in is this top lane. It is a 2v2 kill in the bot lane again. And it's 2 kills this time, not just 1. As in this top lane, Ryan, the second highest LP player in the tournament, is going to just... Oh, I'm sorry, Prey, but I gotta watch this back. We see this. Ryan is on so little HP here, right? But he plays his timing perfectly, gets the adaptive defenses, flashes forward, gets all his cooldowns back up, and turned what looked like could have been a solo kill for Prey into a solo kill for Ryan. And I was going to say Ryan is the second highest LP player, historic LP peak of any player in the tournament, and Prey and Ryan are pretty good buddies, right? And so there is going to always be a grudge match, and this is kind of the both of their, I wouldn't say they're A1 champions, but like at this point Rumble is synonymous with Prey, and Camille is one of the 2 champions I would compare with Ryan, right? The other one being Irelia. So it's kind of both of their like 1Bs going up against each other, right? So we get to see maybe what it looks like. Feldy on one of his signature champions here as well in this Kindred, right, is going to get spotted out by the ward Albino plays. Albino is a very good warder because he is historically prone to dying to ganks. Cleanse is going to be used by Mac here in a non-consequential fight. Witty is going to get hit by the Tangle Barbs as well as all 3 procs of the Blooming Burst. So we are going to be able to accelerate this game just a little bit through. Get a little bit of jungle intervention. The Impale is going to be just a little short. That's what your girlfriend said. Boom. I'm sorry. Not a lot happens in this game, and it's going by very fast because you can see this game kind of gets out of control very quickly. But again, the Silas being picked against a Swain, and it's even more impactful this time because it's a Swain ultimate from a support Swain that is being given over to a mid lane, like a carry position. Very nice clearing from Feldy there, using the Mounting Dread. Punda just holding on to the Demonic Ascension. Bana, going to take a tower shot for fun. The Catalyst of Aeons doing a lot of work here. So you are going to see a little bit of a Genkies here from Newt through the wall. Kane style. 2 games in a row we've seen a wall breaking jungler. He's going to be able to use the Impale to give Ryan his 2nd kill of the game, right? And this Camille insides in a team fight is very, very lethal, right? This Varus will not have very many answers to it, right? And Silas also doesn't really like fighting Camille inside, right? Does have outplay potential in his kit, but we will see as Mac and Feldy, 2 marksmen, doing their darndest to take down the Drake together. Feldy currently has 0 marks. Very nice. We're 9 minutes in game, 0 marks. I lied. It was on Scuttle, and I look like a dumbass right now. Very cool, as we're going to get a nice just combo here from Mac and Punda. Punda going to use the flash to get that 2-man knock up. The Ash Arrow just too slow in response. Mac is going to pick up another 2 kills here. The bot lane that's going completely awry. Exhaust put down, and it doesn't matter that the extra impact is there. I mean, it does, I guess, because Punda threw spells, so he took tower aggro and took 2 tower shots. Feldy here, just deny Newt the ability to walk back into his jungle. The extra impact is going to go wide again. And we are going to see Albino use the Realm Warp down. Feldy is going to flash away and just because of it, gets a walk away. Very nicely done. Feldy is already seen his next mark spawn and is making a beeline to it. Newt, realizing he probably can't do anything to deny it. Ryan was going to go deny it himself, but his teammates not really in range to help him. Panda is going to collect his wave, as Woody and Colin have been able to push it back under, right? They did spend a lot of time messing around with the Newt underneath their tower. We are going to see Nico transform into a minion cleanse. Nico's here, gets the Tangle Barbs, lands the full combo. Mac and Panda, just another kill. It's like Woody doesn't really play the game anymore. I mean, he doesn't, so it is what it is. And another flash comes through, and it will be Colin using both of his summoners to pick up some sort of trade kill onto Mac. And, I mean, it's a shutdown for Colin, but, like, it's support. Like, how useful will it be in the grand scheme of things, as Ryan, with the Triforce completion, just removes a chunk of Prey's health bar there. But you can see kind of the two things that are going to happen this game. And as another a funny Nico thing occurs that catches Albino off guard. And so it's really going to be, can Ryan carry against the dynamic duo of Mac and Panda at this point? Right, and that's kind of the storyline, and obviously you can see the storyline occur in real time. So I also, this is a discussion that we've probably had a lot of times, and if you've talked to me, you probably know how much I hate it. Heartsteel can only be built first item. I don't understand why anybody builds it second. I understand why Mundo builds it second. I still don't like it, and you can't make me like it. Heartsteel this game for Newt is also just completely horrible because you're playing against Varus, Nico, Kindred. And, like, sure, maybe you can do something in, like, later because, like, of Kindred Ultimate. And they just handed over Ryan's shutdown because they realm warped him in. I don't know. It is 3 range champions, and then you're getting melted by the rumble in his face, right? And then Silas, you're also probably not getting to interact with all that much. So I just hate the Heartsteel this game specifically, as Panda gets another Nico R flank. He's just everywhere, and Prey is getting bullied. But we are going to continue to see these two concepts of thinking, as Colin is going to die driving the Herald, as Feldy does smite it, so that the Herald dies, and then he just pops out all nice and plump and ready to be executed. But in this game we are seeing why we do not hand Nico to Panda. As I watch Camille do very funny things, but trade her shutdown for another's, and just allow this Silas to continue to free scale. Right, Varus is already 2 full items, so I don't think it hurts him too much to lose out here. Oh, I should probably... Stuff is happening. Let's chill. As we see the battle lines being set, the Sunbear squad is going to be able to walk up here and try to hit the tower, and another flash ultimate forward here by Panda is going to be able to get a 3-man knock-up. The Demonic Ascension coming through. They're going to try to cut it out. Witty is doing his best to auto everybody down. He with no flash up just yet. And we are going to see Feldy use his ultimate to make sure that he doesn't die, so that they can maybe take the Baron or this Dragon right afterwards. Ryan is the only one left. What is he going to do? He's going to hookshot wall dive forward here onto the Kindred. Is going to tactical sweep Panda to get a little bit of HP back, but it'll not be enough to get him a second takedown. Does deny them the outright ability to take Baron, it looks like, right? I think that is the purpose of that play, and I don't mind it. But this Silas is 3 minutes away from being so hard to kill for this team, right? And it's kind of just all up to Ryan's burst to really take down the Silas in about 2 minutes time now. And Oh, look, Newt only has 95 Heartsteel stacks so far, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to hit onto Punda to deny him the ability to help out, but the stolen Impale into the Pop Blossom. We've seen this time and time again on the pro stage. This Nico champion just needs to be shot out back. I mean, Punda is playing it to a very, very high level here, and that's kind of what you expect and what we've been waiting for from Punda, right? He did get his Pike in a game earlier, and I didn't harp on it, but he definitely didn't have his best mechanical performance, right? And I don't know if he's having his best mechanical performance this game either, but he's having such a tremendous amount of impact comparatively that I think you'd rather see him play the Pike than the Nico at this point in time. Just a really rough game for basically everybody. Albino basically holding his own in lane, but then getting molested in the mid game, as he frequently does. Indigo kind of having a quiet game, but is having his impact. But Ryan displaying his just ability to take one kill and catapult it into a tremendous advantage for himself, but not being able to translate it right. Camille is very single target and needs assistance doing damage to lots of people, and if you're the only person who's effectively doing damage, then there's nothing really you can do to stop the entire rest of the team focusing it down, because Rise hasn't scaled. Ash is very far behind at this point, and won't be relevant for a good long while at this point. But it's not as bad as you think. It's only a 6k gold lead, as they are going to pick up Max Shutdown, and it's going to go the way of Newt, which I think is probably, of the 4 people involved. No, it's better than Swain probably at this point, because Swain is... You just need gold into your carry's pockets at this point, because who knows at what point Swain will actually be like the unkillable god that he's kind of designed to be. As we are going to see Ryan miss the tactical sweep, do everything in his power to deny the blue buff from being stolen away, as Nico is going to trade flash for flash with Witty. They are not going to be able to stop the recall in that brush in time. A little bit of a greedy recall. Camille TPs is going to be able to get in behind them. Is going to hookshot wall dive in forward, gets exhausted. Hextech Ultimatum forward. Rumble's going to flash forward, be able to melt down the rest of this HP bar. Feldy here on the side now. Double kill over for this Varus, and a Abscond Abduct Kingslayer combo for Indigo to wrap up that team fight real quick. Big, easy, quick ace, 5 for 0. They're going to be able to walk down through mid lane. Gets 1 tower, 2 towers, and no inhibitor. The respawn timer is just too short, but the Hextech Soul is up and available for them if they are able to take this fight over. The wall dive is not going to be able to go forward. Max is going to be able to auto for free this entire team fight. Swain is just here in the back. The ultimate cooldown not up yet. Realm Warp to make this game end that little bit faster, and it's a very quick game. 27 minutes, all things considered, and a pretty clean game, right? A couple of just... I'm going to keep going over it. Right, Prey got... I'm not going to say he got exposed in lane, right? He got skill gapped by LP, for sure. And then he got punished over and over again for existing, as top laners frequently do. And then Mac having a very decent game, 16 kill game. But just handing over that shutdown in the mid game could be disastrous in the grand scheme of things. So just preventing that in the future, right? Handing over massive shutdowns is probably the one thing you want to clean up from that game. But overall, a very, very clean game. Not the debut the Sunbear squad was looking for. As we will see our third game of the day between the Sunbear squad. No, I lied. They just played. Oh my gosh. Who am I watching? I'm watching the Tide Weavers, I want to say. I should look it up. I really should. And Herberus. This game, we are seeing not the debut of either team. What do we see here, though? Right at the start, we have Cassiopeia with tier start, and we see Sivir making another appearance in this game, in this tournament. So our debut of Mel, I think And then we see Silas jungle, so 3 straight games of Silas appearing. Then we see Gumi Set. It's a champion that I think he's pretty good at, but I think we'll have a miserable time this game as things happen because of range versus top. And I love range top laners, but I don't like watching them because they are just mean. And people who do play them deserve nothing. I can't lie. But Cassio does look pretty good this game against everything except for the the Mel. But that's just a 2v2 kill at level 2 for some Eyes and Water. And the exhaust, I don't know why people have not figured this out yet from Gumi. He's taking exhaust every single game on the top lane. We are going to just twing fang forward, exhaust, and just die. PTA. Making a pretty decent difference there, but Gumi still like 250 HP there. So very nice from Gumi. I think the exhaust made it hard to really dodge. Why does that work for Mel? Why? I feel like the Victor Laser should not be something she can really reflect. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping. Maybe I'm jumping on the Mel hate train too hard. Let's get this show back on the road. Very nice solo kill from Gumi. Right, Instrument not having the greatest tournament thus far is going to pick up a second kill without recalling. I feel like this is just kind of the Set special, is that I feel like you watch Set and you're like, oh, that's 2 kills so fast. Then there's another kill. Very nice gank from Arcana. Right, had a not amazing performance last time we watched. Just Arcana, I think, is traditionally more well known for. Is Gumi gonna die here? Yeah, he is. 2 flashes are gonna be used. Instrument does go down, but does recover a bit of his losses. Yellow gonna fall down very low once again. Arcana is gonna be here to maybe pile on the pain. The Aqua Prison does not end up doing nothing. I don't think Water. I think they're going to be able to get this second kill underneath the tower too, and they're not going to lose 2 because Zach has passive. Gumi is going to be able to walk forward, is going to get sidestepped, and Instrument is going to pick up a second kill here. This top lane is just an absolute fist fight as designed, as our 2 mid laners trading very heavily with our spells here, and Cookie's just going to solo kill Star. Mel's Golden Eclipse is just going to be enough damage. Smai is going to come in here from the side. Turret is down, is going to be able to taunt Yellow. Water's going to have to flash away. The Chakrams stacking up. We're just fighting to the death. And let's bounce, says Zenobia. Hit 6 before Arcana. And Zenobia off to his best start of the tournament thus far on the Silas this game, right? And we needs to help Gumi try to stabilize this top lane. It looks like it's the other way around. The Haymaker does not, it goes wide on this Cassio, does not be able to pick up lethal damage, and allows Arcana to be able to jump back in after getting caught out, or I shouldn't say caught out, but found in his own jungle. Is able to deny it. Star is able to auto that plate as the reflection from Mel is going to deny a little bit of damage from Star, as Zenobia is going to be able to walk up here and pick up another kill. Right, Mel's picking up a little bit of steam here. Right, we're falling a little bit behind, and Gumi is dead again. I think Gumi is very frustrated this game. We're gonna see a 2v2 between top jungle and mid jungle. The Petrifying Gaze is not going to be enough to help Zenobia take down the second member showing up there. Cassiopeia able to do it all on her own. Picks up her 6th kill of the game after starting 0-2. Went from 0 to 100 real quick. $2,000 gold lead, and I gotta assume it's mostly from top lane. As red-white, it's time to fight. It does get the Infernum ult here, and we do have jungle intervention here. as Zenobia is going to be able to auto water down with the Conqueror. Kingslayer is going to keep him nice and topped off there for just not long enough. Mel is going to rotate down. Is not going to be able to pick up anything. Doesn't have the reinforcement from the bot lane. She would like to continue to walk at them. Star is going to be denied access to this next wave easily, but Zenobia is here. Star is going to get straight up solo killed before Arcana can get himself involved. Arcana getting himself involved once again here. Looking for some sort of lane gank. Is not going to do it, just recall. Has all his camps to clear. Gumi is going to be able to utilize set passive there to just barely avoid lethal. Tidal Wave is going to come through. Sivir is going to spell shielded on the hunt, stolen away from Silas, and a very nice elastic slingshot is going to be able to pick up a double kill. Instrument teleports down to take another kill for himself. 7 kills so far is, I mean, it's very nicely done, but you have to say Gumi kind of just, I don't know how else to say it besides just like monkeying it down. Like started with a 2-kill lead. Right, doesn't have teleport, right, didn't get to do, like, teleport back to lane after that, right, so missed some minions still, right, and it just missed a lot of minions because of this exhaust, and it's why I think it's a little cheesy what he's been doing, and I think it's worked because he's been playing a couple champions that can take a lot of pain and mitigated losses, but Set is not one of them, as there's a wild instrument just here, 2 flashes burned to pick up the double kill on the bottom lane. 9 kills now for this Cassiopeia. I'm starting, I'll say it again, 0 and 2. I don't know if Gumi and Zenobia can really take this fight, as Sivir's just going to go on the hunt and run away. Zenobia gets out by the skin of their teeth. In this game, outside of the smell, it just feels completely unstable. I feel like they're just getting torn apart. They're running around the map kind of like headless chickens. I don't know what is going to be the game plan going forward for the rest of this game for Cerberus. As I am watching Cassiopeia walk down at the AD carry once again, is going to bait out at least 2 ultimates, is going to trade at least 1.5 kills in return, is going to hand over a shutdown to Zenovia's Silas. Gumi is going to get the bounty on that top lane tower, it looks like. The mid lane tower is going to go down the other way, and 4 plates on that tower are going to go over to the combined forces of Zac, Sivir, and Galio. This game just feels completely unorganized. It feels like Kaz and Yellow are just getting absolutely eviscerated, whether it's by Cassiopeia just running at Kaz or Yellow. They just didn't have a very good lane phase, and now they're really, really struggling to get themselves back into this game. It's kind of up to Zenobia to make some sort of play, but the ultimates available for him aren't tremendous, right? Like Petrifying Gaze can do something, Let's Bounce can be a little bit disruptive. The hero's entrance can be teamfight altering in the right scenario, but we'll have to see how he executes that, as Zenobia does dodge being spotted on vision as he steals away Arcana's topside unbeknownst, and he's going to be able to get the jump here on Instrument, and they're going to be able to pick up that wasn't even a shutdown because he's died 5 times, which is really, really nice. They are going to hand over the Chemtech Dragon here, as they're going to also get assistance from the tower, but the hero's entrance is going to do more than enough here to take down Zenobia eventually. Protoplasm Harness is completed for this Galio as well. 2 items for Arcana. I should say that Yellow and Cookie are both substitutes for Cerberus. For I'm not sure exactly what reason why their main mid support cannot come to the games tonight. I wish them all the best as their tournament lives. If I'm not going to spoil anything, I'm not going to say anything until we watch their second game. As Smai is doing a very good job of playing bodyguard, is only going to lose half HP before being able to have the rest of his team rally to him, as Gumi is going to walk underneath the tower and deny something. We will see. Instrument out in the side is going to be able to dodge Petrifying Gaze. Is going to get taunted up Zenobia. Mel is going to get almost one shot by the Boomerang Blade. Gets two shot by the Boomerang Blade as Water commits the flash to take down Mel. And a decent chunk of their wave cleared. Very nice stretching strikes between a champion and a tower. Is going to burn his own flash for proccing tower aggro there. Smize is going to get interrupted by the Aqua Prison, as we are going to go absolutely crazy forward. Very nice ultimate from Gumi, landing on top of the entire team. Arcana's ultimate is going to get used, and a big gold swing the other way. And that's the kind of play we need to be seeing, but we need to see that who knows how many more times. It's a 9k gold lead for my lord, guys, I have dementia. It's insane. Like, I actually don't understand what is wrong with my head sometimes. Like, I know I'm deranged, but like, what is going on, bro? Like, I'm really struggling. I wish I was lying. I'm looking into your soul right now, because I am enjoying this. Let me be clear. But I'm crazy. I'm crazy for doing this. You're crazy if you watch. Let me be clear. I appreciate it. I'm getting on people's front pages. That's insane. Like, I got like 2,000 impressions on the last video. That's insane. Doesn't mean 2,000 people clicked it. Only like 100 did. If I don't even think it was that. Because I don't even also like know what it counts as like a view. Oh my god, I'm yapping! Yapper! Yapper, stop yapping. You're only on game 2. Dude, I'm so cooked. Oh no, I'm on game 3. I lied. Oh. The Tideweavers slowly end this game, taking it down very, very slowly, very, very cleanly. 3 inhibitors. Let's see what they can do. 4v5 here at the end. Gumi falling. Is not going to get anything with the Midnight Vigil. Moonlight Vigil? Moonlight Vigil, I believe, is the name of the Aphelios ultimate, as a kill will be denied by the Zanya's Hourglass. It's going to be I'm not going to say clean win by any stretch of the imagination for that team. However, it was good enough to pull out the victory. I think just a little bit of instability in the early game really, really cost them. So we're going to go into our 4th game. And I swear to God, is this like Prey's like 4th game on Rumble already? Like, it's got to be his 3rd or 4th game on Rumble. I think it's 3 Rumble games and a swing game for him thus far, if I'm not mistaken. But with this game, we do get the debut of Cancun on 3. Woo! Let's go! As I zoom out and turn everything on. Hopefully the music's loud enough for you guys to hear it, so I'm not schizoing. Okay, guys, I understand they're the 2 lowest elo players on their team. But let's like let Mac and Prey like have some fun, right? Let's let them play some other champions, okay, guys? Like, yeah, let's let them cook a little bit. So, what are we doing here? Rumble into Galio, a very, very popular matchup from last year, as Galio gets magic damage sealed, and Rumble is a lane bully, and so he laughs in his face First Graves of the tournament. I'm like curious to see how that goes. Graves did receive a pretty significant buff, I believe, because of how poorly he was performing in the early stages of the patch. Vladimir, a champion Indigo is very, very familiar with, as you heard me glaze it all to bits in last video. Versus Indigo Xeon, which is, I think, a signature champion of his. And we'll show them all, and Spuzz are just going to be able to walk at Punda after he uses most of his mana. And the team, Spuzz just flashes forward, gets 3 summoners from the bot lane of... I've already looked at them today. What the hell are they called? Wizards of the Coast. I actually need to write the team names down. What is wrong with me? Smoke screen. Auto. Okay, let's speed it up again. But Jake and Spuds going balls to the wall right off the bat. Vintage duo. And I love them to bits. So let's see how they do in their debut against the pretty unorthodox bot lane here of Varus Brand. And it doesn't look like Punda is too familiar with Brand. Because if you're a real Brand player, you start E level 1 and then you go Q and then you flash EQ on somebody and they die and they explode. As 3 people are going to be in the mid lane, and we are going to use Flash and Ghost from Mike. Yo, what's up, Mike? I have no idea who you are. But I'm sure you're goated with the Swouse. I also don't know who El Canari is. So a lot of faces in this game, because I swear to God, this is not the jungler they were playing with earlier. Wasn't it Feldy? Don't they have Feldy on their team? Am I hallucinating? What is... Is this Feldy or Nate's team? No, this is Feldy's team, right? Where did Feldy go? Chat, where's Feldy? Anyways. Yeah, guys, I'm cooked. I have dementia, low-key. Pretty, like, chill early game. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on here in the mid-game, as Indigo is going to use and seal the fate of Mike here in the mid lane. A solo kill for Indigo. P-Dog, making his return to League of Legends, is going to get himself caught out and put to sleep by the Lilting Lullaby. And, of course, 2 swords by Dead Man. As Prey does what he does best, and that's push the wave in when his laner dies, making a mistake. And we're going to see a flash forward here and a flash trade from Mac from Spuds. Spuds loves play aggressive, Nautilus. There's the classic Jake Spuds meme of Varus Nautilus lock-in next to each other. They're like a married couple, those two. As Mike is kind of getting blasted in a way. I understand it's only 10 CS, but it's 10 CS and down gold with a significant amount more help. As Phil is going to retreat back to top lane. The Fate Sealed is going to go wide from Indigo. We're taking a couple of pot shots here to try and take down Mike, extend his lead even further. This Graves is also not power farming nearly as well as you'd hope in comparison to this Lilia. Right, Lilia has 2 KP. To Graves is 1, and Graves has only got like a 2 camp lead. You'd like to see that be a little bit more. But we'll see what Super Beans can really get up to here. It looks like he's going to go for the that one item that reveals whatever it's called. As we're gonna get a solo kill back in this matchup for Mike. I was saying he's getting smashed. Pardon me, sir. My apologies, Mike. I was unfamiliar with your game. Okay. Like I said, apologies. Anything I say is like not real. Because my opinion doesn't matter. Why? Depending on the day, it'll change. As we are gonna see Jake kind of just spell shield. It feels like Silver's a really good option in the brand because You just deny the first spell from hitting, and then you can never get stunned. So, we'll see how that goes. On the hunt, El Canary is not going to fall. The Lilting Lullabies buys him enough space, and the skill shots are going to go a little too wide. That's too slow. The Brand Ultimate doing a decent bit of work, as Phil is going to be able to TP in here. Indigo is going to get taunted up. The Justice Punch is going to go wide. Flash expended from Mike to pick up the kill onto Indigo. Waiting for the Empowered Transfusion to come through. Sivir just walking up with a lot of confidence. Exhaust down. The Bouncing Blades are not going to be able enough. Mike is going to transfuse back underneath the tower. Not going to be able enough to take it down, as the Dragon is going to be there for the taking. Yomu's finished for Graves. It's always interesting to watch what Graves builds because he bounces between lethality and crit. You might think with crit being in one of the best places it's been in a long time that Graves would really, really value crit. But lethality also got a lot of very nice changes in the season with changing of items. I would expect, honestly, the Umbral Glaive, if not Yomu's first. That would seem to me like the best start. And we do see a crit cloak, so is that going to be Collector? We will see. 4 people strong here for the Wizards of the Coast. But it's also going to be 4. Indigo is going to get knocked out by the depth charge. Mike is on the wrong side of the wall from his team. Panda is going to go forward and get a whole bunch of bounces going. They are going to trade 1 for 1 there in the end. Spud's trading his life for Panda. Support for support. Very nice Chains of Corruption to stop Super Beans from being able to walk Mac down. Top lane is a real role this season. And that's how I will comment on that interaction I just watched between Galio and Rumble. They're really not giving me a lot to talk about, guys. It's crummy. Rift Herald will go down. I like watching League. Like I like yapping, but I also like yapping's hard, you know? Like you gotta yap with purpose. You know? And it's really difficult to yap with purpose. Right? Because even if the purpose is unknown, right, you like subconsciously know. So to know, you gotta know, you know what I'm saying? As we are gonna watch the tower just get taken in Mike's face, nothing he can do to stop it, and 4 people visiting the spot lane again. Super Bean's there to back them up, but it looks like this dragon is just gonna fall away for Wizards of the Coast, and we are gonna get the explosive shot, and it's gonna be a quick dragon take, but it's also gonna be 4 kills going the other way. It's Cancun on 3, making their presence known, and our top laners are just still there, having a good time, grand old time. Graves gonna invade for his first camp of the game, I swear. What happened to this champion? Panda doing a very nice job of farming underneath the tower. The Galio ultimate is going to be used to save Super Beans from certain death. Mac in a little bit of trouble here, is just going to get flashed on by Varus. It's going to auto quite a few times, and does make Jake use barrier, which sucks. And Indigo is here. On the hunt is going to get just himself away as Spuds does his best to Spider-Man away, and is unsuccessful in doing so. Not without the effort of Jake. Doesn't give over his own life. Very nice attempt there. As the pool seems to be a little bit late. Is going to Ghost. Not going to have that available for the next team fight. Very nice farming under the tower, though. Keeping nice and composed in the face of danger. As all 5 members of Wizards of the Coast have built one of 2 items first, whether that's Blade of the Ruined King or Leandri's. Galio, with the purchase of one Force of Nature, is laughing so hard it's not even funny. Um, like he actually just gets to build full tank this game and not care. Uh, I'm looking at it now and I realize he is not doing that. Oh my lord! I think Indigo is trying to do too much. I think he knows his team is in a somewhat bad position, and he's just trying to convert on something that doesn't need to be converted on just yet. I think his team scales just fine. Actually, I lied. I don't think his team scales that well comparatively. And a little bit of a Baron threat, a little bit of the tease from Cancun on 3. As I feel like Galio's done more damage to Rumble than Rumble has done to Galio in this lane, but it just doesn't look like the HP bars just don't support that necessarily. I feel like Phil's probably taken 10, 15 tower shots this game. He's actually Prey is actually scared of being dove there, which I think is very, very interesting. He doesn't want to die on the side, and a very nice Fate Sealed from Indigo is going to give them access to a second Hextech Dragon here. Cancun on 3 is just going to push down this mid lane tower, pick up the mid lane tier 2. They're going to pick up the top lane tier 1. They are getting chased ever so slowly, but they are not going to. They're just going to walk away. And they trade 2 towers for a shutdown and a dragon, right? So depending on who you ask, that might be worth or not. As Jake is going to continue to auto the wave. He is slowly, only 1 kill, but he does have 7 assists, expanding his gold lead ever so slightly. Every single kind of interval of time, he's getting that little bit just farther ahead, right? He's currently up like 50 farm on his lane opponent, right? Indigo's only up 20. It's like 10 in top lane for Prey, right? He's doing a good job, right? But he does need to get himself involved in this game somehow to really help his team out here, because they're kind of just slowly bleeding out, right? And especially that he's not in a winning lane. He's really, really struggling. Maybe we'll get a hint to see what Graves is truly, truly building towards. And it's an LDR here. So maybe IE third or PD. Who knows? Graves likes attack speed, but doesn't care. If you know what I mean. So they are just going to set up a kind of a battle line, right? They have a vision line here on the map, right? They're not going to really step past it because they don't need to. Prey is not going to get caught out inside. The Yomus does not grant enough movement speed to really do anything about it. As Panda is going to be here in the mid lane, is going to burn his flash. Does use it instead of trying to walk down the lane, just uses it over the wall. As the matchup, I'm surprised that they haven't tried to force more, is this Yone into the full magic resistance Galio at this point. Does deny the cannon, Indigo does. As Indigo in the side gets 2 stacks off the drop and is going to use it to QQ away. Kraves is level 16 now, right? He's farming up a storm. He's doing his darndest as the dragon is about to spawn in 10 seconds time. What is going to be the first domino to fall here to set up a team fight is what we are all wondering. Spuds. It might not look like he was looking for a hook, but he might have been. You never know with Nautilus players. Ward killed. But there is a Scryer's double and swirl seed hit. Jake electing to not spell shield that because he's going to try to spell shield the second part. Jake's going to go in. The guy is going to Justice Punch forward on the hunt. Use Spuds is going to go down. Fate Sealed is going to come up over the top. He's going to pop right away. Graves is going to use the collateral damage to get him away. Ghosting Mike is here. He's going to Zanya's on the back half of it after he gets exhausted. Punda's going to be able to walk forward or gets walked down. And the 3-man unit here that is left and alive is going to walk down. A very nice timing on the Justice Punch. And it's going to be a very clean team fight in the grand scheme of things. Jake not picking up any of the kills, but is playing his part perfectly, doing down the damage. Wouldn't be surprised to see him up there on the damage chart as the game continues. So they take down their 3rd dragon of the game, denying the soul point the other way, and especially with 4 Hextech dragons could be super, super scary. And with 2 marksmen, you got to assume that this is Category relief. Wow, that's great. I I needed that. I feel alive again after watching that. That's the Spud experience. You've been spudded. You don't even know it, Wizards of the Coast, but you've been spudded. Um, I just need to know how this game goes on for as long as it does. And I assume there has to be a team fight that goes the other way soon. I don't know how, but it does. Right, like, we have multiple people almost level 18. Or like level 20. Like, we have both top laners are 18. Two people on Cancun 3 are already 17. Right, those guys are almost capped, like, levels-wise. And it's going to be IE on the Graves. So it's one lethality item into crit. I think it's a cheaper spike, probably, to go Umbral Glaive. Right, utility, also the Night Stalking passive. Very, very useful. Prey has another Rumble ult ready to go. The Equalizer needs to equalize a fight at this point. They are down 9,000 gold across the board. A lot of HP built on Spuds here. A lot of HP built up on Phil. Big, good old P-Dog. Right, we're going to need a little bit of clutch performance out of somebody here, and who's it gonna be, right? Who's gonna step up to the plate? And is it Panda doing a very nice bit of damage, getting Mike down to under half health? Doesn't look like anything too crazy is gonna happen right now. Indigo going up to this top tower is going to be able to crack it down with the help of the extra stuff. Phil is going to get a lot of stuff casted on him, but it's just with the use of the flash going to be able to walk away. Mid inhibitor is going to go down, the least valuable inhibitor in most games, as we get a couple of recalls here to stop them from being able to take much more. But the Hextech Dragon is up again, and that's Hextech Soul spawned. I don't know if that trade is worth it in the end, that you don't even kill Phil. Jake, a little bit of trouble, but not too much. So we are slowly making our way towards maybe our first 7-item carry we've seen in Water Invitational thus far. As we are going to see Indigo be able to walk Mike down and pick up a solo kill in the side lane, catching him in shop. What does that mean for the grand scheme of things? Doesn't look like much except for a little bit of gold in Indigo's pocket. Still building pretty conventional items that Ion would build last season, right? The Bork, the 2 crit items, the DD. As they are going to say it's time to do Baron. I think it's the first Baron, second Baron of this tournament. And let's slow this down a little bit. The Lily is going to pick up the Smite. Brand is going to get hooked onto. The Hero's Entrance is going to come over top. Collateral damage here. And Sivert is going to get roasted alive. Prey does his job on the backside of this fight. And Yon absolutely eviscerates the Graves after getting out of here. A nice Q3. And 800 gold goes into the pocket of him after the fact. Does he get the full recall off? He does. The Q does actually channel through, procs the Hextech Soul, as you saw, but doesn't cancel the back. Very, very nice. Let's take a quick look. I haven't really watched this game or like looked at anything too deeply in this game. So let's take a quick look back at it. A decent amount of damage here from Indigo onto Phil. 3,000 damage. A little bit of explosion from the Brand. Nobody in range to really steal it. Flash Q forward with ultimate on top of it from the Lilia. And with the amount of time Graves is asleep, it gives Indigo enough time to get himself involved. It does take the Hexgate back in behind and keeps his stacks up just so he can do that. I mean, very, very nicely played, right? Prey playing that absolutely masterfully as well, right? Taking the damage in the face, but making sure Zanya's is in the direction of his enemies, right? The Flame Spitter does persist through. Zanya's will do all the damage that Rumble intends to do. All that burn, all that pen really getting to pay off there. And you'd think, I mean, obviously it was a 4v5, right? So did they have to force it as hard as they did? Maybe not, but they did get the Baron off of at least two members, right? The Lilia and the Brand, right? Two of which both the burn champions, right? You expect more maybe like of a mob being completed at this point, or some sort of magic resistance item completed, right? Just so that you're not getting slowed down endlessly by this rylized Brand, right? But you got 2 minutes until the Elder Dragon spawns. So that is the next point of attention here. We're going to assume we can kind of speed our way through up until that point. As we do see Indigo on the side of the map here, getting caught out here. 4-man strong. Super Beans with one shotgun shell to the face is going to be able to take Indigo down. Another W forward here. Mac is going to get taken down on the backside of the fight. Flash here by Mike is going to be able to pick up the kill onto Punda as well. And so they just trade a couple kills back about 70 seconds before the dragon spawns. Didn't expect anything to really happen here. But we do get a little bit of something, right? What can they do? What kind of position can they set up for themselves here to give themselves the best opportunity to win the upcoming Elder fight that you have to assume is going to happen because the base cannot fall at this point. Prey using his equalizer a little early there, trying to catch them on the retreat, maybe cost them catching somebody out here and giving them a better chance of better domain over this fight. Indigo dashing a little bit wildly into the fog of war. Phil is going to get hit by the swirl seed, and it looks like the game is going to come down to this here. Graves on the backside of this fight. Lilia is going to get hooked up. The depth charge is going to hit 3 people. Phil is going to get right on top of them as a group. Indigo does get a very nice ultimate on top of them all. Graves with the triple kill in this fight. Graves with a quadra kill in this fight. Can he take it down? It's a 1v1. Graves versus Indigo's Yone, and the Yone is going to come out on top of this. But here's the thing with the game, the new thing is that there's so much more HP nowadays on these objectives. It starts with 20k here. Indigo is going to do it. Is he going to wait, however, for any of his teammates to receive the buff? 17, 15, and he's going to take it from himself. So Indigo will be the only person on Wizards of the Coast with the Elder Dragon. Is this the right decision, right? Is this the game? Is it the correct decision, right? And we're going to have to see as this game progresses. He is 5 full items. He is ASCAP. He's only going to be able to buy elixirs from this point on. Who knows if that's the right decision or not, what he just did, right? Didn't want to lose an inhibitor in topside, right? So now here we go. 4,000 gold lead separates these two teams. The Graves almost got a pentakill in that last fight. Has a 200 gold bounty on him, but how much does gold matter at this point? I'll say it time and time again. What's it going to come down to? Who's going to make the play? Who's going to make the mistake? Maybe, right? Mistakes are plays to be made, right? You got to capitalize. As Phil is going to get walked up on just a little bit here. The one person with Elder getting to auto him just that little bit. The Elder bar execute threshold being shown to us. And they are going to start autoing down this Baron. Indigo here, remember, is the only person with the Elder buff. I need to reiterate, 9,000 HP, 8,000, 7,000, 6,000. Lilia is getting very, very low here. They are going to secure it. Punda is going to be the person to get knocked up, get hooked, get caught by the dredge line. That Lilia is going to follow suit. Prey is going to not get his Zanyas off, and it doesn't matter how many auto attacks you get down, but it just doesn't matter. The Brand is not going to be able to do enough damage, right? There's nothing like a Runans or anything to help Mac take down a mass horde of enemies, and so I think that's just the game. I think that's the game. Let's make sure before I get too hypey. It does look like that. And I mean, we've had two absolute Astro Bangers here. Are they going to take it down? Oops. And that's the game. And I think Indigo soloing Elder and not saving it for literally anybody else on the team is what ends up costing them the game. Right? In the heat of the moment, right? It's a 40-minute game. I'm sure that everybody has their opinions, and right, in hindsight is 2020. But who really knows what the correct decision there was? I think everybody has their opinion. And I think we know that. But what decision would you have made in the moment is really what you got to consider. So here we are in our 5th game of the day. Let's see what we got in store. A very tanky team on one side of the map. And one kind of tanky team, kind of bruisery, right? There's 2 bruisers, a tank. The Sea of Thieves is calling. Obviously, there's a bit of a Sea of Thieves kick. We're looking for some sort of an invaded angle. It is Blitzcrank. What can they do? It obviously, in the year of our Lord 2026, the game starts too fast, and there's not really anything you can do. They could have caught Star if they'd walked into their top side of the map. Or maybe this Wukong. We would have seen. But Porta's Blitz going to be here on the Rift. Mundo, he got very excited before the tournament because Nanny Nat dropped a Mundo Jungle video right the day of these games. And we are going to see Arcana here, and Stro is going to spot him out. Stro is going to see Arcana doing this. Arcana is going to get the smite secured here. But Stro secures enough of the minions so that Arcana cannot hit level 2. So they are going to be level 1. Smite was used, and the first Q is going to land, and Arcana is going to go down, and Orianna gets the first blood. Ari is here as well, is going to flash. Stro is going to flash as well. A second briefcase has hit the Fox. One more auto will do it. The fleet footwork giving him enough movement speed to be able to capitalize on that. And that, in the grand scheme of things, is really, really nice. Right? Orianna gets a little bit of a gold injection. Stro starts this game off with so much. Arcana does hit level 2. I think from the kill participation XP, I think is how he gets it. But we do see a very difficult matchup in the top side between Gnar and Malphite. This matchup is supremely Malphite favored because Malphite build armor, Gnar hates his life. Right? Obviously, you don't see that, right? Gnar having the range advantage, right? He'll have the advantage in the early levels. Porta palms minion. Shout out Nick Carls. As he takes a very nice chunk of damage from Water's Sivir. Water did say after his very illness-infused day on Thursday that he needs to play just better. He was very critical of himself for his Tristana performance, more specifically. Was not feeling good, so I hope you're feeling better these days, as Hoovy is just getting walked down here and is going to get solo killed just straight up by Star's Ari, right? One of her, I don't even know what Star's best champions are. Kindred, I know that, but not really a mid laner these days, or ever, to be honest. But I'd like to see her pull it out at some point just for fun. All right, take it away from Veldy if they play Veldy's team. It'd be funny. Boomerang not caught by Instrument is going to make his life a little hard for the next 10 or so seconds. So he gets a nice hyper stack on Sky. Sky had a pretty good game last game. The big criticism of Sky is obviously you could argue that he lost them the game single-handedly in the first game because he got caught out on his own underneath their tier 2 when it didn't need to be protected, right? It was 45 minutes in the game. A tier 2 doesn't mean anything. And why am I not speeding up? It's a great question, Thomas. As we are going to see Arcana get involved here on the top side, and Sky is going to be able to pick up a solo kill because Instrument tries to flash forward, does not have lethal damage. Rom's going to come and get hooked forward here. Stro has an excursion in the enemy jungle and hands over another kill to Sky. Gave Sky a blue buff, and I did get to watch most of this game live. Very nice sidestep from Sky. I do remember that. But yeah, to say that was the beginning of the end was an understatement. Sivir gets endless priority over this Ezreal here. Stro is going to have to flash away from the collapse of the entire top side of the Tide Weavers. I really need to look at it beforehand. And a nice shockwave here from Hoovy, but Porta is going to get 3-manned here, as Porta will pick up, or Hoovy will pick up a kill on the back end of this play, because Star gets a little bit funny underneath the tower. I don't know when they put Blitzcrank, but it is a horrible looking Blitzcrank game, I'll be honest. Sometimes, you know, people say the game's lost in draft, and I do think this is one of them. Sky uses flash, picks up a solo kill, very nice, as the matchup is intended. Stro is not able to sustain all the way through that. Hoovy is able to walk to his top laner on a baton and piece of mountain helping out. Water getting to free hit the tower though, not great. Both marksmen have completed an Essence Reaver. Water does get hooked, is forced to burn the flash. Stro gets the Braum flash in the enemy in the river. Nice hook from Porta onto Braum, but the entire rest of the team is there, and they die. So does Hoovy, unfortunately. Slayer getting a little spicy, shifting forward. And Hoovy does not get to experience a good time. 2v2, flash burned by Slayer. Nice hook from Porta. Nice teleport from Hoovy to capitalize on said hook. Very nice. 2 recalls stopped, however. Ari is here, is going to RRR. It doesn't matter. He just gets run down. Stro is in a 1v4 scenario, is going to be able to R away. Mundo, push. That's it. That's it. There's no pushing there, actually. Sky gets ulted underneath the tower. The Gnar doing as much damage as he can to this Malphite, but he just says, rock, me walk. And Gnar just says, fuck. My champ's useless. Until it's not anymore. Because I don't have to lane versus it anymore. Oh, okay. Maybe this fight looks kind of important. Let's watch this. Okay, Hoovy is going to flash the Braum ultimate. Ari is going to charm over the wall, flash knock up from the Wukong ultimate. Cyclone there. Nice catch out on the Slayer. Hook underneath the tower, but the Gnar into the wall is going to keep Porta locked in place. Where's his CC immune? Are we not playing ARAM Mayhem? And Stro is not here. He walked away. Because Mundo go where he pleases. That's 3 plates. Let's speed this up again. Second charge here from the Mundo. Stro doesn't elect to smite it away. Lets the plate crash, or the Herald crash. Malphite auto. Throw rock auto. Star PayPal dropped. When did that? Star gets to push the bot win for free. Person with the second most farm in this game is Ezreal. Malphite ulted into the wall. Braum here to assist. The unstoppable force will be used to escape any possible danger. 2 items completed. Star is just going to Spirit Rush away 3 times. Then they see the Mundo on the other side of map. Porta is going to hook the Braum into melee range of him. And the Gnar is there to assist. Mundo gets there in time, is going to get knocked up, stunned up. Good, nice shockwave from Hoovy to pick up the kill onto water, but is not going to be enough, and they're just going to walk back at the Baron because now there's nothing stopping them from actually taking it. Gnar is now here. Gnar starting this game 0-2, getting solo killed twice into 4 straight kills. Very nice. Star having a wonderful time this game. 10-2, 10 stack Zanyas, tier 3 boots. What else could you really ask for this game, except for maybe not playing Ari against 4 HP stackers? Gnar here is going to take a big chunk of damage to the face, take a cleaver, as Star is going to get pulled in, knocked up. Sombrero ultimate from Hoovy, unfortunately, not having their cleanest game, and it looks like they just ran out of steam. They played a really, really close game in the first game, and they just didn't have the energy or like the mental capacity to really play this game out to the best of their ability. I think just a couple of mental errors there, unfortunately, for them as we steamroll through that game. And we arrive at our last game of the night. Game 6. And it is our second showing for Sunbear Squad, and our fourth showing for Team Herberus. This is our last game of the night. Oh, sure. I need to turn off time controls. So, what champions do we see this game? We see like our 90th Silas game of the night. We see Lysandra support. Yippee! I love Lysandra support. My thing about Lysandra support, however, is that it's good into exactly one champion. One. The champion is Rakan, and that's it. There's no other champion you can play Leona or Lysandra support into, really. I've tried. It's the only one that has any like modicum of success. And you also kind of need Aftershock in support, especially if you're going to play into something else. And yellow is not going to be here into the lane. Colin's going to show on vision. You're going to trade autos between 80 carries here. A nice little abscond abduct as into Cookie. Cookie's second game of Mel of the day. That sucks. Can't wait for Fearless. As Poppy and Gwen trading blows up in the top side. And Ryan's just going to hit 2 first. Bot lane's going to hit 2 first. They're just going to force 2 flashes. In 2 different roles. Exhaust also expended. Or sorry, it wasn't a flash, it was exhaust in Gumi's case. Kaz going to be able to go in here. Is going to pick up first blood. Good start for this bot lane after they struggled immensely in the first game of the night that they played. Leona here to underneath the tower. Oh, Colin there getting spicy, using the explosive charge on the tower to tank damage and then stun Kaz underneath the tower while he couldn't get away and would draw aggro. Albino is going to hit the second part of the chain burst, the chain lash, but not the abduct. Newt throwing a spear in a lane and recalling. Is going to get it off. The melee not able to cancel the recall just in time. Just autoing it down. Albino taking a little bit of abuse in this lane, but it is range versus melee. Kind of how the Archie blows. A nice Zenith Blade forward here from Leona. Gets a nice little chunk here from the Dragon's Breath as well from Smolder. I think you do just kind of need to focus down Tristana, unfortunately, in this lane. It's kind of the nature of any Tristana lane. Is that it doesn't really matter how much damage Lysandra does, especially with a tier first buy, right? She's like really low on damage. She doesn't have a pot. She doesn't have a refillable, right? It's going to be really hard for her to actually do damage, right? She's going to be very, very squishy. And she also just doesn't do any damage, so the person you have to care about is the Tristana, as we're going to Zenith Blade forward, but we're also going to jump forward here. The Smolder is going to take full damage from the explosive charge, and Kaz is just going to jump right back over the wall and pick up a kill for himself. 2-0. Witty not having the best of time thus far. And Colin is going to get locked up by the whatever Mel's E is called. I don't actually know what any of the Mel spells are called, except for Golden Eclipse. Can there be a cheeky steal with the Pantheon Spear? There cannot be. Zenovia will pick that one up. Ooh, Ryan almost picks up the solo kill, but also almost gets solo killed himself. As we have Albino getting a little bit saucy here and a little bit of a reach forward. Kaz is not going to be able to find lethal damage onto Witty, but he will find lethal damage onto Colin. Witty having to flee the scene of the crime. And Kaz, on his signature Tristana champion, is now actually accelerated, is actually winning lane phase, actually going to be able to play the game for the first time, what feels like all tournament at this point, where he was locked to Sivir for the first 2 games of the tournament, and now he's played in a first game, which just I don't think it was in his control at basically any point. As the Cyclone is going to be used here defensively to pull himself away. Yellow here using the Lysandra E to come forward. The Glacial Prison is going to be stolen away. Colin's entrance is going to be denied. Kaz is going to get locked up by the stolen Lysandra ultimate. He's going to have to jump out. He cannot output any damage. He's the only person who actually does damage out of all these people. And he's gone back to the wave. And Zenovia is going to get taken down. Witty is going to be able to follow up on the backside of this fight from farming bot lane to coming to mid wave to clear it out. No shutdown on Kaz to hand over, but still he avoids dying in that fight, gets himself to his first fully completed item. Second person on the map to do so, and that first person is Ryan's Gwen. Ryan is a very good Gwen player, right? He's going to be carry oriented, of course, more so than basically any top laner. I don't expect to see him play anything that's main ability that you buy is ability power, or health. I expect him to play carries only, right? Camille, Gwen, Irelia, Ambessa, I think are the 4 main culprits we're going to see throughout the tournament from Ryan. He could have evolved. I might not know. It's been a while since I've been able to play with Ryan fully or watch him play anything, because I was not able to watch a lot of the DT1 games. As Newt is here to back up the engage from Colin, and Kaz is actually going to fall this time. The Solar Flare is going to get jumped away from, but it does not create enough distance because he's just too slow. Witty is going to pick up a second kill of the game after a very rocky early game. Cookie landing a lot of damage onto Albino here. Poppy is going to have the exhaust here, is not going to be able to use the snip to cut down this Poppy. She's just too hard to take down when she's that low HP. Exhaust did have to be expended by Gumi, right? But does give Zenovia that very nice shutdown. Gumi's going to be able to claw a little bit back of this gold lead into his own pocket. A little bit of banter about control word purchasing, I think. It's got to be 75 minus 40. As we are going to see flash forward onto Witty's mini. Nice eclipse onto Leona, and Newt is here to assist in the end. Colin building Bloodsong because I think he's egoing. I can't lie. Zenovia is going to get caught up by Albino's Wukong ultimate, and that solar eclipse is going to be a red moon or something, because it didn't do the whole hell of a lot of damage. Oh, very nice stun by Gumi. Is going to sidestep every single one of the pieces of needlework, and it did not matter. That is very sad for him. He deserves so much better in that play, but Gwen is just too strong at this point in the game for him. Not a lot of damage built for him either. We're going to jump forward here. The mom is going to be called, and Kaz is going to be able to jump in, jump out, and take what is rightfully his, what was promised to him all those years ago. The Keeper's Verdict is not going to find purchase onto anybody. Exhaust down onto Zenobia. Gwen is on the backside of this fight, doing enough work for an entire seamstress school. There was this bar there, and I couldn't find it. But 5-1 for this Gwen is just going to clean up that fight very, very nicely. And I see a Gunblade in Albino Sunbear's inventory, and I have no idea why. Maybe it's OP. We will see. I mean, he's having a decent game for himself. 2-0-2 right now on the character. Only down 5 farm in a pretty annoying lane, I should say. And Kaz does not get every auto off here, so he can jump in, jump out. Is going to get punished by that. Kaz waiting in the wings. And Cookie reflects the Styles Chain and gets brought to him. It lands one more spell to give himself the ability to pull off the execute onto it. Ryan is going to get that top tower all by his lonesome. Is going to trade over his shutdown over to Gumi. I don't think you mind that too much. Woo-wee. Kaz just going to jump forward onto Witty and do the Lord's work. Colin is going to try to punish Kaz for the aggression onto his AD carry. Get a little bit of righteous justice, but there's no Cyclone there to deny Ryan the ability to stop this Solar Eclipse here. Kaz going to jump in again. No more jumps. Teleport a little bit late from Cookie. If Cookie had teleport just a little bit earlier, I feel like they could have picked up both Newt and Kakal in there, gotten so much more out of that play. But alas, they did not. Hindsight is 2020. We just gotta continue scaling, right? Tristana's got to get to a very dangerous point. Mel has got to get to a point where she's untouchable. She is the longest range character in this game, right? It's really going to be keeping Ryan off of her is going to be the challenge of this game for Cerberus. Right? I think Cookie's kind of the key to winning this game. And if Ryan gets on top of him, it's going to be a very big struggle. Gumi's going to get hit by every piece of the needlework. Flash is traded away from both people. Kaz here to auto down, Newt here to protect his top laner, give him a little bit more space to breathe. I'm just waiting for this Lysandra to do something that like a Nautilus can't do, right? And it's really hard to find, right? It's hard to find those moments. It's just not what we've been seeing. Our first interesting item in the game, I think, has been purchased after the Gunblade. The Bastion Breaker on this Pantheon. I don't think it's a bad item. I'm not saying that at all. I think it's a very good item. I think it's probably provides a little bit too much lethality. Pantheon is an enjoyer of lethality when he does get to build it. Is a kind of a luxury stat for him. As Yellow, looking to get a little bit caught out, is going to get a little bit of help from his team. The Cyclone comes through. Newt is going to get taken down after the Aegis Assault ends. And that is going to be a good turnaround from them. It's going to tie up the Dragons at 2-2 here. Yellow able to just walk away from that. And I guess that is something Lysandra can do, but I don't think running away is something that you're necessarily picking Lysandra for here in this game scenario. And we are going to get a very nice combination of ultimates here, as we are going to see the Grand Starfall in from this Pantheon to pick up a kill. Albino picks up all 3 kills on this play. And we do see another new item that I haven't really gotten to see a whole bunch yet. Hex Optics C44, 50 AD, 25 crit chance. Deals up to 10% increased damage with attacks based on how far away the enemy is. Max is at 700 range. And we are going to see somebody get knocked so far away. Cookie's not actually going to be able to activate it fully. Lysandra is going to go in, and we're just trading blow for blow. Kaz is going to flash forward, is not going to have enough damage to pick up the kill on the back end onto Witty. I feel like I need to appreciate that more. Hold on. My bad. Let's see how this starts off. Zenobia is currently dead, so it's kind of a free Baron opportunity. Yellow gets in here, ultimates onto himself, teleport in from Gumi, and they're going to be able to lock down Ryan from 100 to 0, or about 60 to 0 there. Cookie is going to get chained up and is not going to get all the damage out in time. Gumi is going to be able to take down Albino Sunbear. We're going to get back in here with Lysandra. 1 jump, 2 jump onto champions. We accidentally autoed a control word. We autoed it quite a few times. They're actually, we need to target champions only on. Mom is called just for safe insurance. And we take the blue buff. And then, can we take the Baron here? Is it a possibility? They're only down 1k gold, and after this Baron goes down, this will be a 200 gold game. This is the closest I think Cerberus has been to a gold lead at this point of the game so far in their tournament, which is really, really good for them. You can kind of visually see the improvements, right? And is this team of kind of like, I think you would maybe identify this as one of the highest baseline teams, right? With Albino, Colin, and Ryan. I think you would maybe identify this as like a very high floor, but maybe a low ceiling. But I wouldn't necessarily identify it as exactly that. I think they have a very high ceiling. I do think it kind of depends on how Albino's playing that day. As we're going to see, he's not going to get caught up. Newt is going to get locked up by Lysandra ulti. Gumi is going to knock away part of the enemy team. He's going to get chained up. He's going to get stunned up by the Leona. Gwen is just going to run at this Mel underneath the tower. It's like I can see the future. Zenobia here is just going to trade his life as well for absolutely nothing. Gwen is going to teleport out so that she does not hand over a shutdown. But that is not a great sequence of events, especially when you are the team that should be on the offensive with the Baron buff. Right? You should not be getting caught out or trying to overextend plays. You should be the ones having a good time. And we are going to see Lysandra lock up Colin just a little bit, force his flash away, right? It's really nice to get the flash away from the engaged support so they don't die. Right? And it's way harder for them to make plays. Albino approaching this bottom wave. Gumi and Lysandra here in the wings, not going to be able to find purchase on God. Guys, 6 games in a row is tough. I'll be frank. And I'm not frank. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of an engagement here. Newt is going to be able to fly in and pick up something. Colin's going to live by the skin of his teeth on the back half of this play. Mel is in the top lane, farming her way. Kaz is going to go back to base and do a little bit of help. And before Lysandra can get away, she ultimates. She does not get a chance to ulti because she does not have it. Zenobia, and the game just ends. I did not see the game just ending like that. But I guess it did. Huh. Okay. Cool. Nice. Alright. So, now that we're done with watching the games, that red pixel hasn't been there the whole time, right? Oh, that's my headset. Oh my god. Dementia. Guys, I have dementia. So, let's take a quick review of all these games, and let's pick out an MVP, right, for a couple. I did it for the first game last time out, and then I didn't do it again. I don't know why. So, in this game, I'm going to say, honest to God, it's probably either Arcana or Smize. I think Smize, for me, it's really hard for Galio to be the MVP because the whole purpose of Galio is to follow up on things, and he did a very, very good job of that. So I'm going to give it to Arcana for finding a whole bunch of angles, right? A lot of good timings on things, a lot of just good skill shot placement on that one. So I'm going to give the victory for this game. I'm going to give it to for Arcana. This game I think is kind of hard. Newt was kind of all over the place with Colin. I think that is true. I don't want to give it to Ryan because I think he handed over, like, I think he just forced things a little too hard. I think he could have played it a lot more passively and not handed over a whole bunch of gold. So I'm going to give that one to probably. I feel like I can't give it to Colin just based on how the early lane phase is, but how much is that versus Witty, right? Is that just because they haven't played together in a long time? It's a sub. Obviously, Witty's a sub for them. So I think I'll give it to Newt in that regard. Just was kind of everywhere, right? Whether that he was getting told to go where to go, we'll see, or we'll see in the future. Like maybe we'll find out. I guess is what I'm trying to say. In this game here, it's very very difficult for this one. Phil did his part, right? He neutralized the rumble, right, and then he participated in team fights, which he was meant to do. It was really really good. Super Beans farmed up really, really nicely. I think Mike played really, really a volatile game style. I think that is kind of a Vladimir way of life, given. But I do appreciate his gameplay, but I think he just got. I think a couple things just didn't go fully his way that needed to kind of fully give him MVP. Jake played Sivert. He had 24 assists. He should have had way more kills, right? That number should not be 3 to 24. It should be closer to probably 10, 2, and 14, something like that. I think it's not just the scoreline he got. I think he played way better than that. I just don't think he mitigated mistakes. I think that was good, and I think Spuds had a very good game on Nautilus. I'm just curious on this one. What were the stats? What was Jake's damage? Total damage. Yeah, 37k, as I thought. I'm going to give it to Jake because he did get scammed out of probably a handful of kills here. I think he played exceedingly well. In this game here, I'm going to give it to Punda. I think this one's really, really easy. I think Punda absolutely ruled bot lane, and I think he just translated that to all over the map. He was everywhere where he needed to be. He dropped some absolute nukes in this game. He had really, really good ultimates. He set up for some of the best plays of the game and some of the best plays we saw all day. In this game, it's hard to say. I'm going to give this one a star. I think Star had herself a really, really good game. One of her deaths was really early when she was helping out Arcana after, not a botched play, but just a 2v2 that didn't go very, very well. I think Mundo's stronger at level 1 than Wukong is. I think it really was that simple. I think Orianna auto-attacking things at level 1 is way more damage than Ahri could ever hope to do. And then her other death was just like post-play, and she could have escaped, but I think she just panicked a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to give that one to Star. I think she had a really good Ahri performance. I think after having the rough lane, like after the rough start to lane, right, she went into solo kill Hoovy, right, and really accelerated herself into position to carry the game. And in this game here, it's so hard to say because this game was so back and forth, right? Rekt started off super, super impactful and then kind of tapered off. Jacob just kind of was able to dominate inside, but I feel like that's not saying he wouldn't have dominated if he didn't do it on something else, but I feel like Silas just kind of did that into Swain and would always do that into Swain. And I think KTL played well, given. Right? I think he played exactly as he needed to. But I do think that there's a couple fights where he just died too fast. Let's do a coin flip. Okay, so I got this bottle cap. Okay, and so if it lands up on this, like, if it lands like, I don't know hold on, let's. Okay, hold on. Scuff. Okay, so here. If it's like this, we'll say that's KTL winning. If it's like that, then it's Jacob winning it. Okay? Here. I want to make sure that I'm not scamming this, okay? So I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to put it here on my thing, and we'll flip it over. Okay? So call it, and it's like that. So Jacob gets MVP, as we can all see, right? There was no fudging there. Talk to the hand. But with that being said, thank you for watching the 2-hour special of Water Invitational. Week 1, day 2 of matches. We got 6 matches today, 2 hours of content. Hopefully I start getting access to more things with more YouTube videos so that I can edit it better, right? Or make it easier to watch. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing, leaving comments, liking it. It's doing tremendous work for me, and it's helping me out a lot. I love doing this stuff, and I love you guys. And thank you for giving me the platform and allowing me to do this. And I hope everybody stays happy and healthy, and let's have a good one.